Hi friends, my name is Aditya. So welcome to my video. Like it is a live. So in this video, we are going to simply this system design of this AI agents like Dredge, which is a YC backend company, YC back company. So we will purely system design this in the perfect manner, I guess, like close to a perfect manner. We will try our best. So let's discuss like what the hell is Dredge. Okay, so this is just like suppose you are finding a jobs or finding something like you are hunting for a job, but you just then there will be a two step, like a manual step and then second one is dredge. So in manual step you will simply find all those founder, DM them, email them, cold email them, then they you make friends and all of those kinds, and sometimes you will get no results and sometimes you can get results. Okay, so based on what you message them, what you email them. But isn't this so haptic? Just like suppose you just graduated and you want a job, so no one so there is very less chance that you will get like a fresher job. Okay, so you will simply start to hunt. You just simply find all those relevant, you just collect all those like founders emails by using Claude or something like Codex, and then after that you just start doing like you just start emailing them one by one, changing their name, what the content is, what the startup is doing, and what you can do. Every time you just change all those things, and it can simply be more frustrating because instead of enhancing your own skills, you are simply just wasting your time doing this. So Dredge solve this all, just like it is just like a stop. The quote tells is the title tells the all those things, just like stop building list, start booking clients. That is just like a AI agent that watches hiring demand, leadership changes and company events, that then cue who to contact, why not, and what to say. Okay, simply it just find all those things, like you can see in the UI, like high intent, and the new clients are these also are those 18 found, 12 contacted, for reply, to booked. So it can book like a calendar, just like it can book like some meet call type, that you can simply can have a two-way communication with the founder or the person that they are hiring for. And here is a bunch of tons of features in this, so we are going to purely system design this. So let's start. First of all, we will going to use chat gpt for doing this, because I think that if I do myself, then it can be a little more like time consuming, plus it can be just like a little tougher. But it is not tough, because this is just like a medium range application, because it is a startup. So people don't simply focus on this that much. Okay, so let's so for making it more optimized, I use like a thinking model of like GPT. It is a free model. 1 minute, guys, please. Guys, wait a 1 minute. Wait a 1 minute. Okay, only 1 minute. Wait a minute. Huh. Sorry guys for that disturbance, because I have some work. So let's start doing this. First of all, let's start. I have my eraser open. This is not a eraser, this is my handmade. I just made this by my own. So first of all, we are going to simply it is just like a fantastic, like it is a nice stuff that we can do system design, just like it combines of distributed system, but it is like a optional thing. I don't know, they really I guess this is a monolith system that they are using it. And like a event driven architecture, let me do it white. So event driven architecture, and the tons of LLM that they use, and just like a webhooks, same as the oaths are, just like this is just like a minor thing. Queues that they use for messaging stuff, and the scheduling for all those things, just like they will simply have, I guess they will have a timeout option, or simply an interval option every 30 seconds, every 10 minutes they will find some context and simply mail them. So we use that queues and scheduling and rate limiting for like what if the person, what if simply what if the user is simply sending the emails at much higher rate. So we can apply, we will have to apply in the API too, plus in the front end also. So also the data pipeline search and we can focus on this also. Database or let's do this in further video. So not this. So reliability, security, and the local first architecture. I didn't understand what he's telling about, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so we'll build it from scratch. Okay, wait a minute, guys. I'm sorry. Sorry guys. So first what we are actually building. Okay, so forget about fancy UI that they are using. Like I just love this UI. Okay, so so let's start. Imagine you are a recruiter. Okay, you tell Dritch, that is the application, find me a VP engineer at US fintech companies that are hiring backend engineer. So okay, so you just drop the messages. You just tell Dritch that find me a VP engineer who is like hiring this guy. So it will simply, Dritch should do like this. User just told what they want, and then simply AI planner simply, this is just like a LLM wrapper with a bunch of, with a little bit of harness. Okay, so it will simply search, just like we can use a like rust search also, but that will be faster more. So then it will go to the like people signals, they will find a signal just like a hacker news or something like a LinkedIn. I don't know, yeah, LinkedIn give their API also. And then companies, they will find a bunch of these, and then simply they will load the score. Simply they will have like a score of 30. Let me, I just did yesterday this. Suppose they will have like a hiring score, and then growing score, and then company, I done hiring score, growing score, what they want, like want score. Then they will have like, they will simply decide like it will score 30, it will score like 25, it will score like 15, and these also. And based on these score, they will simply like, it is just like a type of threshold value they are simply deciding for, they are simply depending for. And then they will simply lead the score. Okay, and then after that contact verify. Okay, and then they will camping, I don't know what is this. So AI generates message. Okay, review autopilot, send email, etc. Reply, AI reply agent, continue. Yeah, now let me understand, let me make you understand more clearly. First of all, suppose I am the user. Okay, I just told Dritch to find me a VP, sorry, find VP engineer at like who is hiring at this fintech company, blah blah blah. So AI simply plan that what he is finding, and in the chunks, in the right manner, it can do a context engineering for finding more best. So more good like results. Like suppose a user just told like find me a VP engineer at a fintech company, that is just like a seed, just seed, or simply like high company, just like MNCs type. And they will simply do a context engineering and try to find like then try to plan all those things. So just like after that, it will plan all those things. AI, the LLM will plan, and it will simply do, or just like a search directly, just like it can be a playwright, or it can be just like a signals, just like a compare. Yeah, here is given like it will find simply companies, people, it will be a web search. Okay, and then signals, and then it will simply load the score. based on that I already mentioned, and it will simply verify the contact details of that companies or that founders. And then this process I will simply explain it in more further way. So simply then AI simply generate message review, that can be like autopilot mode, or you can simply have to check, like is this okay, then only you can then only the LLM will verify, just like LLM do a bunch of checks. That is the this is the one part of it, okay. And then simply it will the Dritch will send the email. The Dritch will send the email, and if the reply came, then the Dritch will reply in the same tone, I guess, in the same tone as the person is like conversation, just like I have my tone. Like we can add a update in the Dritch too, just like we will simply record our voice for a few 30 to 40 seconds, and it will simply mimic our whole accent, and it can generate, like it can learn from that, like, and replicate our like pattern, like our behavior, and it can reply on the more natural way. But let's see what happened. So if the reply if they will reply, yeah, it will go in the loop. And if the person like agrees or something like nice, then they will simply book the meeting for it. So it has bunch of plugins too, just like iMessages, Gmails, calendars, and bunch of things, okay. And like this is the entire product in one picture. This is just like a one frame, like what they are doing, okay. And that's like a Dritch on the site describes essentially this flow, like signals, lead, outtake, follow-ups, reply, booking things. Like now the core requirements, what we'd ask for an interview. Suppose you got into a like AI startup interview that has the same pattern like this. So simply we would have to ask like how does a user define this ICP, okay. And also like where do leads come from, like it can come from like bunch of features, just like a LinkedIn hiring, or something like a BTC hiring type site, and something like Indeed, freelancer.com. I don't know like freelancer hire or not, and something like Axe.com, but the API of Axe is too high, so it depends upon what they are doing. And also like what do we monitor, just like what do we monitor, are they hiring, are the company growing, are they looking for this role, are they like that much things, and which communication channel do we use. Yeah, this is the important question, okay. And do message require approval. Yeah, it require, I guess. So we just have to ask, we don't have to answer this, okay. And then also can the system automatically send messages. So it can be a like a pretty good update. We can add like a bunch of checks. If the message is positive, like we will simply put a threshold value, and if the value is if the value is simply higher than that threshold value, or simply that bit the threshold value, then it will simply auto reply to that message, okay. Just like if the message is positive, like then they can do, like I guess they have this feature, or they simply demand of like that approval, okay. And how do follow-up works, okay, this is the also great thing. And how do we detect reply, okay, this is also nice. And also how do we book meetings, and do we need team support, okay. And do we need a unified inbox? I don't think so. So how much conversation history does the AI need? Yeah, this is also a nice question, because we need some context, and also a context window too, so that it the LLM would not like simply hallucinate. So these also are the things for our system design. Let's assume like a core requirements are like R1 user define and ICP, okay. Example like VP engineer in US, like I just said in like beginning, like we can break in them like in chunks. And like fintech company we are looking for, and hiring a backend engineer we are looking for, okay guys. This is all those things that we are looking for. What the hell is this? I just And then R2, like requirement 2 is just like a system discovers companies and people, how they discover, I guess, like this. And system detects useful signals, how they simply classify, how they calculate like that thing. And the system scores lead, how does it works. And also like a system generates the personalized outreach. Okay, it can be in Gmail or something else. And user can approve the message, like either it can be approval or simply the autopilot mode. And the requirement 7b would be optional autopilot can be send message automatic, that I said in beginning. And system detects replies, like how they detects the replies of it. Either it can be just like in the intervals times, like if they are using Rush, then they can use like an interval. Or in the Python there are also some bunch of features that's like an interval, so they can simply put a interval just like in the 4 hours time out. In the 4 hours interval, if the person simply replies, then they will simply reply. They will check every 4 hour. The LLM would check every 4 hour. The LLM would check Google Calendar, Google Gmail every 4 hour, that either messages came from that person or not. So based on that, they can put in their priority queue. Okay, and then they can manage not a priority, then priority list. Okay, and system detects replies. AI can draft, handle replies. Yeah, system can schedule meetings. This is the core requirement. And the non-functional requirements are, if the DRIT says send this email, if the DRIT says send this email, we absolutely don't want send. Yeah, we can't, we are not here to send the company same duplicacy email. So we are simply decide here like idempotency key. So I will explain what the hell is that. Because our worker crashes and retries, yeah, this is the main feature. So we have to solve this, like the LLM or simply the user can't send the same messages a frequent amount of time, because this can leads to a token burn issue, or simply like a worker crash, yeah, a retry, that it can be stuck in the loop also. So for what, for overcoming this, we can use like idempotency rule. Like idempotency rule mostly used in like the fintech companies, like the transaction model. Just like suppose a person did a transaction, okay, and during the transaction the server crash. Okay, then what happened? Suppose a person, let me explain here. Suppose a person A, which have like a server in two places, just like in US and in like California, US, sorry, US in and India. Okay, so if the person is the server A has $1,000 of balance, and server B has also $1,000 of balance. Okay, then if the person start doing a transaction, so while doing a transaction server A crashes. Suppose the server A crash, then the transaction was, suppose the transaction was of $500. Then the amount will deduct from the person. Then they will remain $500 in server A, because it server A, because the server B crashes. So now after the refix, server B has $1,000, but server A has $500. So this create a very risky thing. Or suppose we suppose a person clicks 2 times. Okay, server fails. Suppose during the transaction the person clicks the button 2 times, then it can charge 2 times. Okay, so for overcoming this, we use idempotency key. So that simply do like, if we click on that in the first transaction, it create a idempotency key, and in the second time click, it will simply match the idempotency key. If it is matched, then payment already succeeded, so no extra money is like charged during that period of time. My first example was wrong, guys. I was just a shitty mind I have. Okay, so that's a duplicate problem. So we need like idempotency, scalability, and another thing is scalability. Suppose the 10,000 user, each user had 1,000 lead. Huh? खा रहे हैं, that's 10 millions lead. Okay, and suppose every lead generates a 3 follow up, that's a 30 million outboard actions. Okay, we can't have one giant process doing everything, so we also need a API queue and API key queue and then workers. So we can have like a Kafka thing if there is like high throughput के लिए तो rabbit MQ हो गया है ना, and then a bunch of tasks के लिए we can use a Kafka also here. Okay, and also just like why Kafka, because Kafka simply holds the data for several minutes, not minutes, several time, like several like a more time. Okay, but RabbitMQ can't. And also it allows like a high throughput. Okay, and also that's like a latency also matter for a user clicking show inbox. We want roughly of 200 milliseconds. Okay, but for 1,000 qualified leads we don't need response in 200 milliseconds. That's a in asynchronous job. So it with the flow is just like a user request creates job, return job ID, and then background worker will work there. Okay, so let's define our major component. Now we can draw the first senior architecture, serious architecture. Wait a minute guys, wait a minute. There is a web application or desktop app. It is a desktop app, and then it will simply call the API gateway. The API gateway will just like a user service and lead services and the inbox services. There are three services. Okay, and this is connected with the one database, that is Postgres database. So why not to use MongoDB, a person will ask. MongoDB can also scale horizontally. Okay, and also can use for LLM based tasks. But in this application we just need user data in the clear form. User just like leads, contacts, follow-ups, meetings. We just need these all things, so we don't have to like combine in just like a tree. So we are using a Postgres. Okay, and the messaging queue, Kafka SQS model, which we can use here. And like lead worker, AI worker, and the send worker. We have three worker here. Okay, that is lead worker, that will data sourcer, AI worker, LLM API, and the send worker just like Gmail, etc. And the don't memorize this. Yeah, guys, don't memorize this. Like what? Understand what each box means. So you have to simply understand what I just told in that. You can play back the video and watch from the beginning also if you didn't understand. And the four most important mental models you already learned. Yeah guys, you have to learn like a HLD, at least HLD, not LLD, then you can understand this also. खा रही हूँ ठीक है. Wait a minute guys, I'm back. Sorry for disturbance guys. I'll